Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Without a doubt, one of the, I would say, main community requests over the course of really Warzone's entire lifespan is just communication. And honestly, it's been sort of back and forth. There are weeks where we get a lot of information from Call of Duty and from the devs talking about gameplay changes and whatnot. Then there's also multiple week spans where it is just radio silence. However, it seems like over the course of the whole Season 2 delay, communication has started to improve quite a bit with Call of Duty and all their socials, honestly. And as of yesterday, we actually got a brand new post from Raven talking about their plans for gameplay, their plans for playlists and modes in Warzone, how they go about it, and basically what they plan for the future as well. And it's honestly pretty exciting news. It's not, you know, direct gameplay changes, altering this gun, altering this place on Caldera, this, that, and whatever, but it is fairly important when it comes to actually playing Warzone, because it's what we have to choose when we jump into gameplay, right? So we got that to break down today. And ironically enough, as we're talking about how Raven's communication has improved, it seems like there is a new stealth change in Warzone that went live alongside yesterday's update as well. So that's kind of curious. But as we cover it all, if you enjoyed the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you're new here, if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, news, updates, loadouts, tips. You'll find it all right here. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. So this is Raven's big blog post here, the Warzone playlist process. We want to give our community insight on the design for the playlist calendar in Call of Duty Warzone. Hopefully I can zoom it in so you guys can actually read it a little bit better. With over 20 unique modes, most with different squad sizes, it's a great problem to have such a wealth of content to choose from when planning playlist rotations. Below, we're going to go into detail as to why we rotate modes and what we're planning going forward. Really, the latter there is what we're more focused on, but to break down some of this, it's actually kind of interesting what they go ahead and talk about here. So player motivations: with more than 100 million Warzone players, we recognize that each player is motivated by different gameplay experiences. Some players love plunder, other players love battle royale. The battle royale fans probably are not super huge fans of the fact that we get plunder trios consistently, and the plunder fans are probably not a huge fan of the constant Vanguard Royale, Vanguard Resurgence, battle royale, this, that, and everything else that we got going on. So they basically are saying, hey, yeah, we got to look at all this data to constantly monitor the success of each mode. So these motivations represent our guiding light each week to make sure that we cater to as many players as possible. Obviously, if you're having players that just play one specific mode, you want to try and get as many of those players on the game. That makes sense. Surprise and engage. If Warzone had nothing but BR and plunder, we wouldn't expand to deliver new experiences like Resurgence, Payload, Iron Trials, etc. We've seen the rotation of modes keep the game engaging and results in players experimenting with modes they haven't played before, as well as allowing our teams the freedom to find the next great Warzone experience. There remains a balance here, which we'll go into more detail on. So squad sizes. We know that players like to play with different squad sizes, whether that's solos, quads, or anything in between. That's one of the challenging aspects, because obviously if you really want to play quads in a certain mode, but there's only duos or trios for that, it's sort of a frustration. So they recognize that it's hard to always cater to the most ideal squad sizes. However, that's something they're going to work on as we read further. So communication, this is the big part. A few months ago, we shifted from sharing playlists on a weekly cadence to announcing multiple weeks at a time, which personally I love, and I know a lot of players love. It allows you to prep what weeks you really want to grind out gameplay, right? So this is due to feedback from players in tournaments alike that you wanted more time to plan ahead. The team has endeavored to lock in the playlist and communicate it as early as possible to you, but we still have room to fix this and get better at it. We'll continue to balance timely communication while providing flexibility for pivots when necessary, unless we want to keep something a fun secret, of course. More on that potentially here in a moment based off some leaks from yesterday's updates. We use these principles and values as guidelines and do our best to meet the criteria for every playlist. However, sometimes we like to go out and do different things here and there. With all that being said, we wanted to conclude by giving an insight into the plans for the remainder of the season. Obviously, February 14th is the end of Season 1. Our philosophy here has been to give players the best of season outro with more consistent squad size availability, while still having a little fun with the 4-day bonus buyback royale event that's going to be happening here. We'll talk on that. This brings additional benefits in giving our team time to focus on addressing other player feedback in Warzone, all while planning for the new modes that lay ahead of us, including what's to come in Season 2. So that's essentially confirming that Season 2 is going to introduce some brand new modes. And I guess that's a good segue into talking about what was previously leaked yesterday as of the latest update we got. Reality, who is one of the data miners and leakers that we've talked about on the channel previously, noticed that with yesterday's little update to fix the loadout change and add in a stealth nerf that we'll get to here momentarily, they changed some of the files and also added a new one that potentially relates to Iron Trials but it's on Rebirth instead of on Caldera. Now, we haven't had Iron Trials on Caldera. We only saw it back in Verdansk 84, but it was a fan favorite right away. It really increases the skill gap and makes things way more interesting, makes engagements way more fun, in my opinion, and also the opinion of a lot of other players as well, it seems. But it does appear that, according to those leaks, we could actually see Rebirth Iron Trials at some point, probably in Season 3, and that could potentially be one of these secrets that they're trying to keep, or sort of what they're insinuating with the new modes here coming in Season 2. But they do mention that for the end of Season 1, we are going to see a little buyback extravaganza, if you will. For the week of February 3rd, obviously we covered this playlist update yesterday and it's live now, but for the 10th, which we'll probably reiterate again on Monday when we talk about the whole weekly preview, we're going to see Vanguard Resurgence quads, and then BR buybacks, which is awesome for solos, duos, trios, and quads, alongside Plunder, then also Resurgence trios and quads. And the reason that over the course of the second half of Season 1, basically, that we've been seeing Resurgence trios, Resurgence duos, Resurgence quads all available to choose from is because, going back up to their previous point, they're basically trying to make it so that you can choose whatever mode you want to play and it'll almost always be there, at least for squad size. They have a good variety of modes every week. Obviously, we have BR of some kind, we have Rebirth of some kind, we have Plunder of some kind, but they want to expand into allowing more modes available for each of those so that everyone always has that dedicated playlist they can jump into. So that is definitely cool news, in my opinion. We get a bit of information, you know, sort of teasing Season 2, and we can sort of line that up with the leaks. But then we get to the stealth changes, which, like I said at the start of the video, is kind of ironic because I will admit, Raven's communication and Call of Duty's communication definitely has improved over the past couple of weeks. But then yesterday's update went live. We got the loadout change revert, which was huge. I'm so glad that they've gone ahead and listened to that because that was a huge thing. That's awesome news. But with that update, I've been watching a lot of streams. I jumped into some gameplay. I've seen a lot of things going on Twitter. It does appear that they've adjusted the cash flow in Caldera. Now, if we look at the patch notes and we scroll down to the February 3rd update from yesterday, we get our playlist preview. The patch notes I didn't really even bother with because there really wasn't anything significant here. Obviously, we had the whole blog about the loadout change, which we covered in its own regard. But then for bug fixes, they fixed the exploit areas, as they do literally every single time we get patch notes. You guys can see it's here on the 26th too. And they also fixed an issue causing freezing on the tier skip redemption screen. So nothing crazy with that. You'll notice though, there was no mention of cash flow. No nerfs, no buffs, no changes to cash mentioned in the patch notes. But as they talked about a little while back, they wanted to adjust the cash flow and nerf the cash flow in Caldera because it was just too much. Players were getting too much cash, and that meant too many UAVs, too many streaks, so on and so forth. So they've been messing around with that stuff. They've been thinking about it in the background. It does appear that with the loadout change, they made some adjustments because the cash flow doesn't seem as, you know, abundant, we could say. It does seem like there's less cash on the map, meaning it's going to take a little bit longer to get that 10,000 for your loadout, the 6,000 for the UAV, etc., etc. Kind of surprised they didn't mention that. I figure they'll probably mention something in the Season 2 patch notes, and it'll be something like, okay, yeah, that's that from 2 weeks ago. They are mentioning it here now, but something to, you know, take into consideration. Yeah, we got some changes yesterday. Yes, they are getting better with communication, but it's not perfect yet. And I think it's something they will improve on. I believe I saw the other day that they were looking to hire more communication people at Raven, which is good news. That should just mean it's better for us in the long run that we get more communication. It's more transparent, all that stuff. So that's good. But yeah, wanted to inform you guys on sort of what's been going on there. You might notice you're getting less cash in Caldera, and that's not a glitch. It does seem like it's happening to a lot of players right now, and it was an intended change. Hopefully we get some official word on that in the future, but that's going to do it for today. Raven's communication is getting better with a few exceptions, and it does seem like Season 2 of Warzone is going to include some interesting changes. I'm excited for Rebirth Iron Trials if that's a thing. It should be fun. But if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, feel free to do so. That way you can always guarantee you're up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.